I wanted to keep it a secret. I didn't want anyone to know that I was struggling being outdoors. I don't think the outdoors is a diverse space. You just don't tend to see or hear of many people at all in the outdoors who are struggling with an invisible illness. Part of that is because, of course, it's invisible. You don't see people who are in the outdoors struggling because often they don't feel like they're able to get into the outdoors because they don't want to be seen to be struggling. My name's Gail Muller. I am a speaker, educator, adventurer and author from Cornwall and chronic pain survivor. I spent my life growing up here in Cornwall always being able to be outdoors, and that was a salve and a healing for me in many ways. We were lucky enough that my father was very much into sailing and was a rower down here in Cornwall. Felt like the most joyful kind of childhood, and we were either on the water or out in the fields. I suffer from chronic physical pain, which is encompassed the right-hand side of my body for about 15 years. No one knew what was wrong with me. No doctor could tell me what it was, let alone how to get better. And I had many, many years of struggle. I didn't feel there was a place for me to be able to access the outdoors. There wasn't anyone to make me feel like it was possible.
And I hate it when someone asks you what's your prognosis, basically asking you when I'm going to die. And I'm like, well, what's fucking yours? What's yours? When are you going to die? I think when you're first diagnosed, there's so much focus on people telling you what you no longer can do. Or I can no longer have babies. I cannot get a mortgage. I cannot do all these things. Wouldn't it be nice if we just showed off what people can still do? My name is Kris Hallinger and I am the founder of breast cancer charity Copperfield, and I'm also an author. So we're going to Scotland. We are doing the West Highland Way, which is just over 96 miles. I've read a book about it and it sounds bloody great. People assume, and the narrative around cancer is that everything you have to live in the moment, you have to do things now, you can't put things off anymore. The cancer that I have means that on average people survive it for 3 years maximum. And I have outlived that by, 8 years now. When it finally does, when we're actually out there taking our first steps on this trek, it's going to feel, I think, far more monumental because of everything that we've both been through in the past, and still going through at the moment.
Did you bring shorts, Birdie? Of course. I bought mine now as well.
It was about when I was 25, 26, and I stopped sports thinking it would help, and it didn't help, it just made it worse. Yeah. Thunderous, low-level vibration of pain everywhere, all the time. You can't sleep, you can't move, you can't pull on a sock, you can't brush your teeth, you can't turn your head, nothing. It's just waves of agony, yet invisible. For months at a time, it grinds you down. Teaching students at school gave me a purpose, and I lost all the other purpose because I couldn't do sport or activity. Making a difference in their lives, the very best I could, was where I poured my heart and soul, but by the end of the day, I was always utterly broken. And the spiral, it continued. until I was just in a tiny kind of, I've got to end all of this bubble because I had nothing left to give, really. And I remember the suicidal moment of wanting to step off my balcony in Italy in the night, straight into all the trees and the snow below because I'd had enough. I was just going through stuff, and there was a phone number who was a dentist, specialist dentist. And he said, I don't know how it's happened, but you've probably come to one of the most pioneering places who is doing this in the world, and this is what we treat. And I remember thinking, what a load of shit. You are just saying that. This is another frigging scam. It's like the 120 billionth thing I've tried to get out of pain. She turned to me, I was lying in the little dentist chair, just ready to die, really. And she looked at me and she put her hand on my shoulder and she went, I'm so sorry. You must be in unspeakable agony. And I went, what? How do you know? She went, it's obvious. I can see what the problem is. And it's awful, and we can get it better. I absolutely lost it. I just howled and howled and howled. But from there, I managed to get better. It was like as soon as there was hope, so motivated on my rehabilitation, which then took away about 90% of my pain and transformed my life into something absolutely different than it had been, involving long expeditions, trail running, climbing, paddleboarding, kayaking, all the things I dreamed of doing and never had the opportunity to do.
I feel safe, I feel safe with Gail. The fact that Gail has so much experience behind her already makes me feel excited, You just can't underestimate the power of just wide open spaces, breathing and connecting to your breath again.
Even when I was struggling with my physical health and my pain, I yearned to be in the outdoors. It's what pulled me, it was the thread that yanked me forward towards health, towards never giving up hope. Because I knew where I wanted to be. I knew the freedom that I wanted to feel, the wind in my hair, the views, the elevation, the physical exertion of a body that's done a job. I definitely tried to cover up the fact that I was struggling. I would pretend that I was fine because I was determined not to look weak. Because for me, having someone seen as weak or someone carrying your bags felt like lame, like you weren't, well, if you can't carry your own stuff, why are you even outside? Why are you trying if you can't be self-sufficient? And it shouldn't be shameful to have to change how you use the outdoors. It shouldn't be shameful to ask for help, to be able to look up to other people who are showing you how to do it differently.
The first thing that a doctor should say to you is get outside and take some breaths. No one mentioned that to me. No one said that. I definitely think that that's helped deal with the trauma. Now I know all these coping strategies to deal with what I went through, what I'm still going through, and one of those things is definitely get outside.
Valor and bravery in conquering it is not the only way. Nature's gentle as well as being fierce and aggressive. Nature's welcoming and nurturing, rather than the raging heat of summer or the storms of winter. The spring will take you outdoors until you're strong enough to be able to bear the storms of the winter. I think part of the reason we don't hear and see about people with invisible illness outdoors is because either they're not there, they feel like they're trying to keep up with other people to look right out there, so they're not going to tell you, or there's no space to talk about it. There's no natural conversations to be had. I'm suffering with chronic pain, I have cancer, I have fibromyalgia. I don't see that being talked about. Having people with those needs centered in those narratives. It's robust people doing adventurous, epic things. Well, for somebody who has chronic pain, it is epic to walk 5 miles, and to ask them how they did that will tell you a story of adventure and bravery.
You're not defeated, are you? You're not defeated. Here, you've got one more day to finish this trail. You're not being defeated. You're doing the very best thing that you can for your body so that you can end on a high tomorrow.
I'm doing it all tomorrow, regardless.
Yes, well, I'm not letting you miss an inch tomorrow. You've had an injury, you need to rest. It's not defeat. Have you hiked more than you've ever hiked before? Have you done more miles than you've ever done before? Have you done more days in a row than you've ever done before?
You're being very Camp America. Stop
Yeah,
it.
I am. It's my job.
It doesn't always have to look pretty to be successful. It doesn't have to always be calm and placid. It doesn't always have to be best friend having the best time of their lives. You can have spats, you can have anger, you can have tiredness, you can have skinned knees, rolled ankles, swear words, tears. Yet at the end of it, when you sew it all up and tie the bag up, inside there's a rich experience that will take you further.
If I think today I can get out of bed, today I can walk to the shops, today I can do that thing, then today is a good day. That might not be so tomorrow, but today is a good day. I can move, and I'm going to make the most of that.
The more people we encourage to speak out about how they feel, the more stories we can show, the more differently abled looking, charactered people we can have outdoors, and the better the world becomes.